Hello everybody. I'm glad that I am back. This is Joy again with you, and today is quite exciting for me. It's a beautiful day. It's quite cold in my hometown, but I feel vibed up. I feel warm inside of me. And today's episode, which is episode number 2, is I'm going to be sharing with you some of the baby steps that can be taken to build a loving and kind relationship with yourself. In my first episode, which was the previous one, I went into details of, how really of understanding the relationship that we have with ourselves. And I did promise that in the following episode, which is this one, that we will delve into, I'll try and break down a few steps that can be taken to build that relationship with yourself. I must say again that I cannot emphasize enough how crucial and how important it is to build a relationship with yourself, for obvious reasons, because we spend a lot of time with ourselves. So we may as well do ourselves a favor to really build that, deeper understanding and a deeper connection with ourselves. But also it is important that to know and to understand that the relationship that we have with ourselves sets the standards or the tone that the standards of all the other relationships that we're going to be building. So, what does it mean, or what are some of the steps that can be taken to build that relationship? The first step to be taken is really to be aware, create a self-awareness of who you are. If you are like me, it took me a while to really figure out who I was, and by that I mean what do I represent, what do I stand for, what do I value in life, what do I deeply believe about myself and about life. Even paying attention to my thoughts and how I feel and how that interacts with the way I behave was a strange idea for me. And so again, if you are like me, starting to create that conscious awareness of of your thoughts and how you feel and of your experiences will really help to build that connection with yourself. Normally we tend to respond or react or even experience life out of being on autopilot. So you wake up in the morning and you do life, as if you don't even think twice about the things that you're going to do and how you're going to do them. So that is you being on autopilot. But when you start to create that self-awareness and really create a conscious awareness of your actions and of your thoughts and how all those things influence the way you're responding to life, it starts to make it to create a different impact in your life. So self-awareness is key. Another strategy or another tool that you can use is to really realize and acknowledge your potential, your self-worth. I know in my last episode, and if you've not watched it, please go look it up. I really talked a lot about how our childhood experiences really shape what we deeply believe about who we are. And so depending on how your experiences as a child were, your sense of self-worth, basically your sense of self-worth is contingent on how your childhood experiences were. So again, if you grew up in a society or in a community or in a family where your sense of self-worth almost depended on how much you can achieve or how beautiful you look on the outside or how much you can do as an individual, then you grow up to believe that, your sense of self-worth definitely depends on that. And of course, that is far from the truth. The sense of self-worth comes from within us. Now, I'm not saying that you cannot work hard and achieve. Yes, definitely, by all means. But if your sense of self-worth depends solely on that, chances are that, in times where you're not able to achieve, then you're going to really feel so awful about who you are. I have clients, that come in and, talk about how they feel extremely unhappy, especially in during the pandemic, because, our lives almost like really, it's as if we went to bed in a different world and woke up in a completely different world. Some of us lost jobs, other people, lost families. Our sense of normal really was disrupted. So you can imagine if your sense of self-worth depended on the external factors around you, it is very easy to get caught up in, to feel like you're worthless. So really understanding that, you are much more than what you have achieved. You are much more than your degrees. You're much more than, whatever comes after you is key in the process of really trying to develop that relationship with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Now, I'm not saying that you let yourself off the hook. I'm not saying that you cannot take full responsibility of your actions or inactions. But what I'm saying is that even when you've erred, or even when you've made a mistake or you've done something that you're not so happy with, extend self-compassion, forgive yourself, treat yourself with kindness, and try all over again. Another tip that can be helpful is to build a like-minded community around you. People that like things that you like, people that, believe in what you believe in, people that, vibe, have the same vibe as you, because then those people will keep you accountable. They will probably see what you cannot see, and they will build you up just as you'll be building yourself up. Try to find time and do nothing and just stop. Take deep breaths, engage in mindfulness and meditation, because sometimes life can be extremely busy, and in the process of, trying to catch up with life, it is very easy to lose that connection. It's very easy to experience a disconnect between you and you. So trying to stop and reflect on yourself, and also listen to your body, really, because sometimes our bodies will send messages, or will almost point us to the way we feel and what we think. So for example, if you're waking up, you just woke up and maybe you have a headache, or even realizing that, oh, when I'm talking to this person, my heart starts to pound faster. What does that mean? Am I feeling a little bit uncomfortable and anxious around this person? Why is that the case? Does that mean that this person is, sending some energies that are not that do not quite align with my energies? So really paying attention to your body will help you to probably gain a bigger picture. Avoid the selfish trap. Now, I personally grew up in an extremely religious environment. I attended a Christian school. My family is quite religious or spiritual, and not that that is a bad thing, but I think I heard a lot of messages around being selfish if you are taking care of yourself, right? If you are, if you're doing something kind and good to yourself, it could be construed as, being selfish. So it was very hard for me to do things for myself, because I always thought that when I engage in these things, I'm being selfish, which was very contrary to, the gospel, or, the religious understanding of, of love. So I am very intentional when it comes to avoiding that selfish trap, because it easily gets to me. So avoiding that selfish trap, taking care of yourself or showing up for yourself is not being selfish. It is extending the same kindness that you would extend to other people. Cultivate the spirit of taking care of yourself. Practice self-care. Now, self-care is a buzzword, and I know so many people are making money off just the word self-care, but self-care is really engaging in activities or in experiences that are going to restore you, experiences that are going to rejuvenate you, are going to re-energize you. So stopping and identifying those experiences for yourself is key. And that looks different for different people. For some people, it is traveling. For other people, it is reading a book. And self-care needs to be holistic. And by holistic, I mean taking care of yourself physically, taking care of yourself psychologically, mentally, emotionally, taking care of yourself socially, spiritually, and maybe professionally. Trying to find harmony between your work, if you work, I believe all of us work in one way, in one shape, or in one form or another. So trying to harmonize, I don't want to use the word balance, because I don't think there is such a thing as balance, but trying to really harmonize your work life and your personal life. Again, it's good to achieve, but it's also extremely important to stop and enjoy your achievement. So it can't just be enjoy, and it can't just be achieve. Those two need to be really harmonized. So those are some of the tips or some tools that you can use. And again, one could work well for you, and the other and maybe the other may not. Just fly with what works for you, and let's keep engaging. So if you have any questions, any thoughts, please hit me up in the comment section. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts and your questions. It was great hanging out with you for these couple of minutes. I will see you next time. Bye now.